Welcome to Design+Style, a podcast dedicated to helping you attract new leads, own your influence, and develop your inner visibility warrior through our proven tools, techniques, and mindset strategies. I am Dixie Willard, interior designer and owner of Designing Dixie, a brand journalism media outlet. And with me, as always, is my beautiful, effervescent co-host,
Rachel Moriarty, a leading home style expert, best-selling author, speaker, brand ambassador, and product designer for Elegant Mosaics.
Recently named one of the top 15 interior designers in Oklahoma City, Phara Queen's work has attracted a variety of celebrities and musicians from across the country, including Miranda Lambert, Blake Shelton, and Gwen Stefani. Earlier this year, Phara was featured as a mover and maker in Traditional Home Magazine's May-June issue. She's also been published in other high-end publications including Southern Living, Travel and Leisure, People, Country Living, Huffington Post, and Oklahoma Magazine.
We're so excited to have you on the podcast. We've really been looking forward to having you.
Glad it worked out.
You first came on my radar. I saw you on Design Talk Live.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that is how you first came on my radar. And then, of course, I was like, oh, I have to go see, I wanted to go see who the celebrity designer was. And so I looked you up, and you've got a lot of street cred. You've got this amazing I love following you on Instagram, too. You have an amazing boldness
Thank you.
about your design that I just love.
Thank you.
I love, love, love. I mean, I am all about color and pattern and layer on layer, but there's even more. Like, I feel like you take it even further because you probably have these clients that like want it pushed. They're creatives and
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because I always say, if somebody will like take my hand and jump over the cliff with me and trust me, that result is always way better than what anybody ever had in their head,
Mm-hmm.
So I like it when they do that. So I try to give them 3 options always. And 1 is kind of what they're asking for. 2 is kind of what they're asking for with a little bit of an edge. And then 3 is, please take this one and jump off the cliff with me. So that's kind of always how that seems to happen. And generally they do, if you get somebody that trusts you.
They do number 3?
That's everything. Yeah, generally, yeah. I know when I did the bed and breakfast, that specifically was one of those instances where the 3rd option was way better than imagined to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's almost like when I go on a road trip with a girlfriend, like I hate getting lost if I'm by myself, but if I'm with a girlfriend on a road trip or on a traveling or vacation, that's always the best part of the story. Like what happened when we got lost and we made that wrong turn and then we met this person and then we walked in this restaurant and you know what I mean? Like that's, if you have somebody to like a guide or somebody willing to go there with you, I'm like so okay. So I feel like that's what we do a lot of times for our clients, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is what you asked for and
Absolutely.
This is fine, but let's go get lost a little bit, because what's going to happen if things are going to be back ordered and things are going to this and we're not going to be able to get this in this color, so it's going to kind of do its own thing anyway, so let's just travel this road, less traveled road together,
Yeah. That's why I tend to not really stress. I mean, if something doesn't go like you initially plan it in your head, whatever comes along next is generally works out better than the first option. So I just really don't ever, I did the designer or the Dallas show house last year for Traditional Home Magazine. And
with Donna Moss's? Is that Donna Moss's house? Oh, amazing.
Yeah, that's how we met.
So awesome.
But I was kind of brought in last minute because somebody dropped out. And I kind of had to put together a design scramble, putting things together. And, everything gets shipped there, and then you show up to install it. And when I showed up to install it, I was like, where's this and this and this? And they weren't just like, things to sit around. They were actual pieces of furniture.
Wow.
So, then I'm getting on the phone. Luckily, Dallas isn't that far from Oklahoma City, and I'm calling my guy that owns a furniture store here and being like, what you got? And my husband brought it down to me the next day. I mean, and it ended up being better than what I had originally like rendered.
Yeah.
Because the rendering, you know, they were putting out the renderings and everything. And I was like, my rendering's not going to look anything like my actual room now, because, you know, I had to go to plan B.
Yeah.
But it worked out. So yeah, I tend to not stress about that.
So I love that you just mentioned that you're from Oklahoma City, that you did a show house in Dallas. Miss Dixie, our lovely Dixie, is from, well, not from, because you're Air Force?
Actually, Phara, I'm
Yeah.
actually from Texas.
I was born in Houston. Does that count?
In Lubbock. So
well.
I don't know how big of a fan the Sooners you are.
Oh,
But trust me, there's no blood ties.
no. Both of my kids went to OU. I just paid tuition.
Okay.
I'm like neutral. I just paid tuition.
See, that's the best way to be.
If OSU's playing, I'm rooting for them. If OU's playing, I'm, you know, whatever. I don't really care.
Yeah, and then there's Texas. But
as long as there's Rotel dip and chips, I'm good.
It's the thing that matters the most, really.
I know.
Really.
That's why this is okay.
So one of the things about because having been a designer in Oklahoma City, I actually just worked for a furniture store for the most part while I lived there.
Really?
Yeah, in Norman, Mr. Robert Fine Furniture.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's a little bit different dynamic than, say, being a designer on one of the coasts. How would you say that visibility plays into living where you live and getting noticed by the people who now hire you?
That's a good question. I think it's important just because, I mean, I think wherever you live, there's a lot of designers. And so in order to become one that's recognized, I think it's important that you do interviews, you do podcasts, you show up to events. You know, I don't think whoever it is, that's going to hurt them at all for moving forward in their career. So
do you, now we know that you have the traditional home that you've done stuff with, a lot of things that you've done. What's been the best thing so far? Is it getting published, doing interviews, partnering with vendors?
Well, I'd love to partner with vendors. I mean, that's kind of my goal right now moving forward, is I would love to partner with vendors.
Mm-hmm. Are you an artist?
I mean, I do some drawing.
Do you do drawings?
Yeah. I'm not like posting them on social media or anything.
Yeah.
But they're a little bit, they're not stick figures either. So
yeah. I
an
artist too.
Well, because I taught rendering. So when I got my design degree, the school where I got it from actually had me come back and teach the rendering course.
Wow.
Because the guy that taught me ended up getting really sick, and so they asked me to come in and finish out the semester and teach the rendering. And I enjoy it. I hadn't done it in a really long time. So when I had to do it for the Traditional Home Magazine show house
wow.
in Dallas, I was like, where are all of my supplies? And then I was like dusting them off. But no, I mean, it's fun. I enjoy that. That's actually relaxing for me.
Well, it's funny you talk about dusting it off. I still have all of my drafting supplies, my hand drafting supplies. And thank goodness I do, because I got a client this year who only had printed drawings.
Wow.
There was nothing digital.
Yeah, I missed that actually. I love hand drafting.
It was so much fun. I hadn't done it in forever.
Yeah. It's funny though, because the hardest thing for me are perspectives. I can render all day, but a perspective, I don't know why, but in my mind, I associate that a little bit with math skills, of which I have zero. So, And the way I learned it, there were just so many cross lines, and it just was really easy to get confused. So perspectives are not my favorite. I mean, I can probably do them, but it'll take a long time.
Yeah. And thank goodness for digital everything these days.
Yeah. Thank you, SketchUp.
Yes. Very much so.
So awesome. So we know that you are home based in Oklahoma City.
Sorry, my phone.
Am I saying the right thing? Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like, is Norman part of that? Like,
it's a suburb. I mean, it's a city, but it's a suburb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah. All right. So you're there, and where are you? I know you travel a lot. So what is the percentage, I'm just curious, of travel you do?
For clients?
For client work, yeah. Like,
100%.
Are you gone, but like out of the year, are you gone like half of the year? Are you gone?
I'm probably gone. I'm gone 2 to 3 days a week.
Wow.
And if it's an install, I can be gone up to 3 months.
Wow.
But I mean, my kids are grown and gone. And my husband will come visit. So I don't think I could do what I do if I had little kids.
No.
I mean, I probably could, but I'd feel like the worst mom ever.
Yeah.
Mom guilt is real. So
it's so real.
Yeah. So I think at the stage that I am in life, meaning older, that allows me to be able to do what I do and do it well and guilt-free.
Yeah. That's amazing. I know. I couldn't believe when I read your bio, you've been doing design for 35 years, was it? Mm-hmm. I couldn't,
you don't look old enough.
I know. I was like, there's no way. There is no way.
I know. It just is so bizarre sometimes, because I'll be 56 in October, and it's just like, what? Wait, what? I mean, what? But yeah, it's a long time.
But you've got this like rock star like edge to you. I just love your style, and it makes sense that you have these celebrity clients. They are. Did you connect with them in Oklahoma, and then you started traveling out? Like,
I did.
Are you frozen?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were frozen for a second. It must be my Wi-Fi. Okay, so I was wondering how that like initial thing happened.
It's just one of those random right place, right time situations. I had recently moved, this was 2013. I had recently moved to Oklahoma City from Tulsa, where I lived for 27 years, raised my kids there. And I moved over here in September, and, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, what I was going to do. And it just, seriously, random, right place, right time. I mean, it's like a whole like circle conversation that took place. But the end result was I started working for Miranda Lambert. Mm-hmm. And she was doing a boutique bed and breakfast down in this little town in southern Oklahoma called Tishomingo. And that's how everything came about, really.
And one led to the other, and to another, and to another. And your 5 years, you've been working for the same clients for 5 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, yeah. It really is.
So how far was that bed and breakfast from where you live? You said
Tishomingo's a little over 2 hours.
So that basically started where you're like, I guess I'm traveling, and yes, I will travel for the next one and the next one and the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been so long since I've done, there's a show house here that I participate in, which is designing, but for a client, it's been so long it's been 5 years since I worked for a client that actually lived where I live. Really, I don't even know that. I feel like, why is this so easy? Because it takes
logistics.
It takes a special skill set, honestly, to travel and work out of town, especially when you've got to, you're in charge of getting everything there and then going and installing. And, I don't have somebody that I work with or that helps me either.
Are you a solo?
I am solo.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And mainly because I've just never wanted to go down the path of, I would have to have such an airtight non-disclosure that I just have never wanted to go down that route.
Yeah.
With it. I mean, I've had plenty of people be like, I want to be your minion for the day, or
yeah, exactly. You're like, yeah, I bet you do.
I want to be your intern, and I'm like, yeah, no, thanks, but yeah.
But with you doing so many projects away, you have got, I'm sure you are one of the most organized people in the world. You would have to be.
I am. I already was, but yes, I am. It's kind of obnoxious a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you have to be.
But and it pays off in the end.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How is it finding trades? Like, that's the first thing my mind goes to is like, oh my gosh. You just try them out and.
Yeah. Yeah, and also a lot of the things that I source for my clients. I mean, have you ever heard of there's a little town in Texas called Round Top?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Vintage,
yeah, I've been to Round Top a lot.
Yeah.
And, it's just things that nobody really, they're old, nobody really has another one, it's those kinds of things too.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really proficient on internet scouring.
Yeah. You have to be.
Yeah.
You have to be.
I can navigate my way around some Etsy, I'll just say that.
So fun. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So, okay. So Round Top. So you utilize a lot of vintage. I did notice that.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually will travel one place to go source and then that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's goals for me. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah. No, and it's fun.
I like that.
It's fun. Yeah. I like it too.
So have you done, I was trying to think of your projects that I saw. Do you get to do like the, well, I used to be a photo stylist, and we used to use these production vehicles, and the makeup and wardrobe would be in the back. Do you get to do any of like that kind of stuff? Where they like hang out or anything? Like if people are on set or traveling, like an RV or an Airstream or anything?
No.
That would be so cool.
No.
Super
I'm
fun.
just designing.
Nice.
Yeah. No, and I have had people too, just random people DM me on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm going to a concert. Can you get me backstage? And I'm like, I'm not sure what kind of pool you think I have, but.
It doesn't include that.
Number one, no. And number two, block. It's just it's
just random people,
it's weird.
Literally.
Yeah, it's weird.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
I guess that's one of the downsides is people think that they know you better than they do.
Yeah.
Or they're just hoping that maybe if I ask the right way.
Well, and I don't
score me those backstage tickets.
I think maybe the reason sometimes they follow me is because they think I'm going to post something that,
right.
They're going to want to see or whatever. But nope, vault. Throw it away. No, I really am very, very conscious of protecting their privacy.
Of course.
Yeah.
So does that mean that you cannot post anything that's been done, that you've done? Or do you say, can I, pitch this living room to, because obviously it's a cool story for publication. You know what I mean? Like, or is it just like, no, nothing?
No, I posted the bed and breakfast on my website, obviously, because that's a public space. But as far as their private spaces go, I've never really approached them about it. mainly because those are their private spaces, and I have to respect that. And if you know, if you've got clients who are high profile, you kind of have to be going into it okay with the fact that
this is not going to be a portfolio.
Right. That's not going to be on my website. And it might look like, you know, there are like year spans that I'm not doing anything. When I am, they're just not for public consumption. And it's one of those things where I've never asked. I just respect that those are their spaces.
Well,
you know, I mean, if Architectural Digest wants to come in and do a layout, then afterwards I'll be like, okay, now and I'm going to put it on my website. But I just never have really, I just respect their privacy.
So they don't get anywhere else.
What?
Privacy.
Oh, absolutely. No.
So it's the one place it's almost like a sacred spot for them. So I love that you help protect that for them.
It's their vacation. You know, I mean,
that's amazing. But if the story came through the other way, like flowed through the client, you know, and then you were mentioned as a designer, like that would be cool, but you would never pitch the story. So the story would go through you, or you would have to ask permission for that. Got it. Cool.
And I've been asked to do that, but I'm just like, no, I'm not comfortable doing that because I respect their privacy so much and protect it. I probably go overboard, but I just, you know, I mean, that if the roles were reversed, I would really appreciate somebody doing that for me. You know, so.
Well, what I love is that you have your client base locked down. You've been doing it for 5 years. You know, you have this, you can't really be visible. We just talked about you can't really be visible in that way, right? But I love that you still go out and participate in show houses.
Yeah, that's fun.
You know, do stuff like that. So there's like that great balance where you know, the internet's weird. It's like you said, it could look like what's been happening for the last 5 years. Like there's a gap. Right. But I love that you're just continuing, you know, to go and do show houses and you said events too. Do you go to like High Point or do you go to anything like that?
You know, it's been a while. I keep saying I'm going to get back to High Point, but it always
lands in the middle of a project.
Well, it either lands in the middle of a project or a lot of times in the past it landed during Round Top.
Right.
You know, so I'll go to Dallas Market.
So close.
Is so close, and I'll go there just because I don't want to feel like I'm dulling myself by not ever seeing what's out there. You know, it's more personal. Than anything. You know, I like to go out and touch and feel and.
Well, it's a great way to get inspired.
Yeah. But you kind of have to go to the right places or you'll get arrested. Be like, why are you touching
and feeling me?
There is a limit.
Yeah.
Dallas Market is like really getting popular too. Like I noticed that, like it's really
they've got a design, like a dedicated design center now that's open all the time, not just during market. So it's come a long way from where it was.
Yeah, I definitely want to try to make it to one of those. I can't make it to all of them. I still have a little one at home, so it's really hard. I mean, I go to Vegas and I go to High Point, and I'm just like,
I haven't been to Vegas in a long time either. I thought I was going to go, but you know, it's right around the corner, and I register, but I never go.
It seems like a good idea at the time, but
months ago I was like, I'll be free. That's fine too. You know, that's okay.
So I saw something on your website about did you do an HGTV something or?
Yeah, I had somebody from HGTV reach out. I guess it was 2 years ago, and they wanted me to enter this Faces of Design contest. in the posh public spaces category for the bed and breakfast that I did for Miranda.
Oh,
And I did,
cool.
and I made it to be a finalist, so I thought that was pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love seeing all the press you've done, and just you just have an amazing body of work.
Thank you.
I really love fall. I'm glad we're connected, and glad we got to talk to you
Thank
personally on the podcast.
Yeah.
And do you have any advice for designers so that they can be you when they grow up?
Well, I think it sounds cliche, but really you just have to be you. You have to be you. You have to do you, because people are going to see right through it if you don't. I mean, like if I stood up right now, I've got ripped, cut off jean shorts on, but that's just me. I mean, I'm not. Just do you. Don't try to be somebody else. People are going to see right through it, and you're going to go a lot farther if you just be you. I mean, if you cuss, then cuss. It's like if I say a cuss word on social media and it offends somebody, I'm to the point now in my life where I really don't care.
Right.
Don't look. Unfollow me.
And I'm
scrolling. I'm just that. Life's too short and I don't have time for that. And if I could tell my 20-year-old self something, it would be that. Just be you, because there's not anybody else. I mean, it's so
much
cliche,
easier.
but it's
I
so
know.
true.
It's so hard, though. Even when Dixie and I started this podcast, we could not find, we were like, we didn't know about podcasting and whatever. And we were, we had all these great people in front of us, and they were kind of our role models, but we had to find our own voice. Mm-hmm. And we keep saying you cannot find your voice until you use it. It's really hard. Like, you think it's so easy to be yourself, but until you start like getting out there and being yourself, it sounds so easy, but it's really not. Yeah. But it is, once you get there, it's so much easier just to do you than to try to pretend to be someone else.
Yeah. And I was somebody else other than myself before.
Yeah.
It's just a long story.
I think we've all been there.
Anyway, fast forward to 5 years ago, and it's funny because the clients that I have now are the ones that made me realize it's okay to be me.
Mm-hmm.
If I show up to a client meeting in ripped jeans, it's fine. It's not if I say a cuss word, if I show up now in something other than what I normally wear, and I don't say a cuss word, they'd probably be like,
"Are you feeling okay today, Phara?
Who is this, and what happened to Phara?" Yeah, so it's funny that they were the ones that actually showed me that it's okay to be who I am. So, full circle.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Dixie and I are just like enthralled in your story.
Well, one of the things we talk about a lot is you have to be you.
Yes.
And I think Rachel and I have both discovered through exactly what you said. When you're you, everything is so much easier. Mm-hmm. It feels normal, and you don't have to pretend to be anybody else, which just it takes away so much stress.
It does. I mean, if somebody's going to be offended by that, I mean, it doesn't make me any less of a designer. Mm-hmm. If somebody's going to be offended by that, then it's probably not anybody I want to work for anyway.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. When you're you get the best clients for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's been a blast talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? We've been so looking forward to this.
Yay.
So tell us, in just a pretty bow, why does visibility matter? Like, why does doing a show house, like, why do you continue to be visible in in the ways that you are, even though you've got this like client thing locked down?
Number one, it's just fun to meet new people. It's fun to meet new designers. It broadens your base.
Yes.
And also, you get to do a room that nobody else has input on. You're doing it because that's what you want to do.
It's your way to really show you, right?
Yeah.
Without like all of this like budget restrictions and I'm traditional or I'm
right.
You know what I mean? It's like you really get to like show how you would do, how you would do it. That's so
and it's funny too, because I mean, if you look at pictures from the traditional home show house, and you saw my house, they're not anything
right.
It's just fun. So it's just fun to get to do different things, and it's fun to get to push yourself.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you don't get to do that when you're working for a client. It's your job to implement what they want in their space.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then some with a little extra fairy dust sprinkle.
Yeah, with a little twist, a twist and an edge.
Exactly, I love that.
Kind of like my hair.
Yes.
Twist.
We love that we're all rocking pixies. If you're listening on iTunes, you can't see it, but if you are on YouTube, head over to the YouTubes.
Yeah.
You can't tell Dixie has a blue pixie, though. I don't know if you can tell.
I can, and I think it looks awesome.
Yeah, it's adorable.
I had a pink one for a while. I like the pink, but then my grandson was born, and I washed it out because I was like, okay, generations from now, do I want relatives generations from now going, does she have pink hair?
That is so funny. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So yeah. No more pink for a while.
No more pink.
But I did like it.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for taking the time to talk to us. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I hope we get to meet in person one of these days.
High Point.
Yes.
Try to plan High Point.
Oh yeah.
Skip Round Top.
And maybe when I come to Oklahoma in December, we can have coffee or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, seriously, that'd be awesome. I'd love that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Sometimes when it comes to visibility, it's hard to know where to start, how to start, what's truly important. Maybe you've already started, but instead of getting anywhere, you just feel lost and confused. Maybe you see others making great strides, but it seems like you're getting left behind. Or maybe your once successful visibility efforts just aren't getting you the attention they used to, thanks to new technology and an ever-changing industry. It's time for a change. It's time to take control, to stand up for yourself and your business. It's time to become a visibility warrior. Join us today at visibilitywarrior.com.